surely this is exactly what you want to be doing on your birthday, right? I can't think of a better thing to do than to watch TI and spend an hour talking to your good friend about it, right? Right? This is the day.
What's coming on the show?
Hold on, I'll fucking go get him. No, he's busy. He's busy, but I'm here.
You know how many times Blitz did that to me in our cast?
Like,
is OD Pixel here?
Yeah. More than once, apparently. Man,
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Happy TI season. It's been it's been a week. What did you do anything today? Or did you just watch games?
Today I made a birthday wish. I wished for something that I thought was something that was impossible.
What?
Which is I wished for a North American team in the upper bracket, which I thought was impossible because the only team left was Nouns to have any hope for. But birthday wishes are true, guy. They actually work. We made the impossible happen. Nouns made it into the upper bracket.
Dude, what do you think? So we're only like maybe 3 hours away from that happening right now. What do you think is going on in Tundra's hotel room right now? Like just imagine. Just give me like a thought of what you think they are doing, because right now those people are probably sitting in that room. Is it just silence? Is it like someone's looking over a replay going like, guys, is Ogre a good hero? Is it like someone doing the math on how many Midases you have to buy to win a game of Dota right now? Like, what is going on with Tundra? Because, oh boy. Oh boy.
Snaking is sitting there, and it's just dead silent. And then after like 5 minutes, he's like, guys, what the fuck? I left North America for a reason. These guys are dog shit. Why did we lose to them? Because that's how Dota players are. You know, like on the outside, of course, they're, oh yeah, I mean, every team is really tough. You know, we respect everybody. Nobody gets to TI for free. You know, you got to respect every single opponent. But in the behind the scenes, they're like, these guys are dog shit. You know, that's how they talk. So Snaking's like, I left these North American losers in North America for a reason. I stopped trying to make NA teams because I didn't think this region had a shot at being able to win a TI again. And now, look at them in the upper bracket, and we, the TI winners, are in the lower bracket.
Dude, I
Then
watched...
they yelled at Thompson. They said, it's your fault, Thompson. We won a TI without you.
And Thompson's going to be like, guys, I only win TI. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Then Thompson pulls out his 2 TI rings on his fingers. You know, he's just like, what? What the fuck did you just say to me, Snaking, a little shit?
So the thing that is like even a little bit more tragic about this is that Tundra, as the first seed in Group D, got to pick their opponent, and they got to choose between Nouns or Virtus Pro, teams who had the same records in Group C. They were both 3-5, which is probably not super good, and all the first place seeds coincidentally chose the 4th place teams. Liquid chose EG, Spirit chose Shopify, LGG chose Key. They chose fucking 9 Pandas, right? But Tundra was like, hey, what if we play Nouns? They're the North American team. They barely shouldn't have made it out of groups at all. This is the freest win ever, and they didn't win a game. It wasn't a 2-1 like what happened here series. It was a 2-0 and they lost both.
Yeah, they got slapped down pretty damn hard. I thought for a second there, you know, game 1 was actually pretty clean from Nouns. I was like, damn, these guys own. I think they're actually gonna do it. And then I was doubly surprised when they actually did it in game 2, because I there was a moment there I was like, are they going to throw this game?
Are they going to throw this with Mega Creeps at the Ancient?
Yeah. So Nouns, and I think the coolest thing about it And I love this result, even though there's no way I would have predicted it. I love this result because we now have. Well, I love it for North America succeeding. I love it for some of the guys on Nouns that Gunnar, Moo, and Lelis I've had interactions with. I like them. They seem like good guys. But I also like it because it means that Tundra is going to go down to the lower bracket. And Tundra are going to meet Entity. We've already checked off one Western European team, Quest, bombed out of groups. That was kind of awkward. Now, guaranteed, we're saying goodbye to another one in their very first round of the lower bracket. And it means we have to say goodbye to another one of them before we go to the Final Four, which I believe is the TI Grand Final weekend. So we are guaranteed.
I think Final 6, but go on.
Oh, okay. Well, we're for top 4, we're guaranteed to only have
0
2 Western European teams. So that's good because the international can feel a little bit more international when the top 3 isn't all from the same goddamn region. So that's really cool. We have North America in the upper bracket, which is really cool. We have Southeast Asia in the upper bracket. We're not going to have a totally stacked Western European bracket. Really the only thing that could happen where one region dominates is if Eastern Europe does really well, which I highly doubt. I'm not convinced by Virtus Pro, and they have to match up against Team Spirit in the first round. So they somebody's going to knock each other down, and then Panda's on the other side of the upper bracket. So if 9 Pandas does really well, Team Spirit does really well, and then I guess Virtus Pro makes some crazy lower bracket run. That's really the only way we're going to have a very stacked one region top 4, which that's good. We want diversity in our teams.
I'm still not certain about a lot of the teams who are still in the upper bracket. How do you feel? So we're now at the end of the road to the international, the first stage of the road to, which is the group stage, but it's still the road to, and next weekend is the road to, and 2 weekends from now.
We got out the driveway, and then we took the side street down, and then we're about to hit the main street that leads to the highway. So that's we're almost.
Yeah, we're still on the road. Yeah, we're getting closer, but next week is still the road. Did you like...
It would help if they changed it to road to TI and then the street to TI. If they switched up in that regard.
Yeah, it's like the TI packing and then TI TSA and then TI boarding.
Boulevard of the International, yeah.
Do you like the way the new group stage format went?
I didn't. Personally, I didn't. I will also say I didn't watch very much of this group stage. I was on a road trip when it started, and then I was also playing in this disc golf tournament as well. So I actually didn't watch that much of the group stage, but I personally did not like it. Now, that does not mean that I think it's bad. I think it's probably better for viewership. Cleans up the group stage quite a bit, and gets us into playoffs in a cleaner manner. And there's less matches that have the potential to be dead rubber matches. Every single one of these matches, I think almost guaranteed in these groups, almost every single match matters.
Yeah, really close.
Yeah, it's not it may not matter for one side. If one team's super dominant, the other teams are pretty even, then maybe it's a chance that their last series doesn't matter for the super dominant team, but it will matter for the other side, at least. So there are stakes to every single one of these group stage matches, which I think is better. So from a viewership perspective, I think it's probably better. I just personally didn't like it that much. Why?
Because you like big groups?
Because I like seeing the teams intermingle, because I like the fact that at the end of a TI, it is rare to say that, oh, this team dodged this team and they never met each other, right? In two teams that make a deep run, right? How likely is it that they both end up not being in the same groups, right? They have to be in the two different groups because that's usually how it is, right? It's 8-team or 9-team round robin groups. So they have to be in the two different groups, and then they have to go through one basically has to go through the upper bracket run. The other has to go through the lower bracket run, which is, I believe, what happened to Liquid and Tundra, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think they matched up in group stage, and they definitely didn't play in playoffs against each other. And Liquid ended up getting third, and Tundra ended up getting first, right? So that I think it's rare for that to happen, which I think personally is cool. I like being able to see every team match up against each other, or at least most of them match up against each other at the international. But that is my own personal nerdy Dota preference.
I think when it was announced, I wasn't too excited by it, and now after watching it, I'm like pretty evenly split about it. I think it's fine. I don't have any hard complaints about it, but there's something that I just feel like I like more about the previous formats, and I don't know if that's just like a bias towards not liking change. You have a good point about teams dodging each other. There's definitely all the teams who are first in their group probably won't be playing unless they're making it to, well, I mean, Tundra's a long way to go to meet some of them now, but
yeah,
you know, like Liquid and Spirit could presumably play in upper bracket semis, but aside from that, you know, teams could very well be dodging each other. The top half of this winners bracket looks a little bit heavier than the bottom half.
Yeah, there is one thing about like when it comes to just having two very large groups, I think there is relative even amount of strength between those groups, right? Maybe one group does actually end up performing better at their tournament, but there's usually at least like at the very top, maybe the weaker group, the very top team is very competitive, or, you know, the bottom teams are a little bit better, have a better run through lower bracket or something like that, right? So, and where here with 4 divided groups, it means that the group strength is very important. I actually put out a tweet after the group stage asking people's opinions on like which group they thought was strongest, and people definitely had like, it was very polarizing. People thought B, 46% of people thought B was the strongest group, 34% thought A was the strongest group, right? So you have you have 80% of the people who think group A and B are the strongest teams, and they matched up against each other, right? Mm-hmm. So then all the group C versus group D matches, and that was the part of the group that I this group stage that I did not like the most, is that you succeed, you do well in your group, you go 7-1, you go 8-0, you play one best of 3, and that puts you into the lower bracket. Now, I understand the reasoning there. It's like, well, that's basically this is basically an upper bracket match. That's essentially what that is, right? It's an upper bracket match, just in a weird format. It's saying like, hey, you lose this, you get knocked down. So everybody starts in a way in the upper bracket by playing that. But it just didn't feel right to me when you add in the group power strength, right?
Yeah, I wish that it was just, I don't know why it wasn't presented as that. It felt like people were always trying to like dance around like, oh, it's the seeding decider phase 2 group seeding round. But really, it's just upper bracket, whatever, 8th finals, whatever comes before quarterfinals.
Yeah, is there any reason that Valve, and maybe it's because technically that would be the playoffs, and then there would be this attachment of like, oh, the playoffs. But like, what if Valve just said, okay, you all start in the upper bracket, right?
That's what happened. That is what happened.
That's essentially what happened. Yeah. But then maybe because then that's technically the playoffs at that point in time. And then obviously their coverage of those matches compared to the coverage next weekend is going to be very different. And people would be like, oh, this is playoffs of TI, blah, blah, blah. So
I don't know. That's all dumb and semantic
yeah.
at the end of the day. Like that
Yeah.
doesn't. I would, in my head, this bracket just has another round of upper bracket, and that's how it's displayed. Because even the teams went into the bracket in order that they played. They just slotted directly in. There was no reseeding either. So
Yeah, that's a good point. So, yeah, I would say for viewership, I mean, for like casual viewership, you should probably change that format and just have them all go into the upper bracket. Maybe that's a little bit easier to understand for one. But then I don't know. There's just no way to get around this group strength problem. It just is what it is. You just hope that the groups are even, and we'll see. We'll see if they are or not.
2 teams from every group made it into the upper bracket.
Yep. It was so we have Team Spirit and 9 Pandas from Group A. So the first and third seeded team in that group. You have Liquid and you have Azure Ray. So first and third. You have LGD and Nouns, first and third. And you have
TSM.
Tundra.
Talon.
Not TSM.
And Talon and... Oh, we're missing Virtus Pro.
Oh, yeah. Virtus Pro ended up there. So,
yeah, 3 teams from Group C.
Group C actually had 3 teams make it in. And Group D only had 1 team make it in, which there is only 6% of people in this poll who thought Group D was the strongest. So people's general idea of the strength of these teams so far is, like, at least that part's correct, right? C and D matched up against each other, and people said Group D is the weakest, and Group D had the least teams make it into the upper bracket.
Mm-hmm. And Gaiman was like a hair's breadth away from having all 4 teams from Group C make it out to the upper bracket.
Yeah. They were. Out of that group, it's surprising that Gaming Gladiators is the team that ended up faltering.
Which means...
Well, surprising for some. I predicted Talon. Just throw that out there.
My predictions in the client, not that bad. I got all of Group A right, most of Group B right. I got Liquid.
I wasn't
beating
home,
Ichi.
so I missed it. I missed the deadline, so I've done that thing where I just like, well, whatever. I'm not doing the in-client thing at all.
But Austin, what about your player stickers? You'll not. What about your 1,000-something points?
Yes, I do care about those player stickers quite a bit.
The TI prize pool is almost $3 million now. Like, I won't retread that ground. Only one Western European team in the upper bracket after today. Only one.
Yep. It's your boys, Team Liquid, and they're gonna match up against
Talon again. Every fucking event, we gotta play Talon and we gotta play Gaiman. And you know what?
Yeah.
This event, there will be 0 games against Gaiman.
And if you beat them,
play Spirit.
If you beat Talon, you play very likely Team Spirit. So your upper bracket run is not the most fun because it does look like that bottom side, the C and D teams. They just, like, hey, Nouns. I love the way that Nouns made it to the upper bracket. They did it with their own style, their own heroes. They stuck to their ideas, and they brought a unique meta. A unique regional meta? I'm not even sure if I'm going to call it a regional meta. That's just a team meta, baby. They brought back the Moo offlane Witch Doctor, which I told you that hero was still broken. That hero is still dummy. They brought in a mid Ogre Magi, which I did not have faith in, but they managed to pull it out. But, like, do I think Nouns is as good as Team Liquid, Talon, or Team Spirit? Probably not. Do I think 9 Pandas is there? Maybe, but I'm not really feeling it. LGD and Azure Ray, one of them is gonna bomb out. I'm not sure which one.
LGD,
I think one of them.
I think LGD, Liquid, and Spirit are the best 3 looking teams at the event by like a margin right now.
Yeah.
It's like those 3 teams and then Talon, and then I think there's like a little bit of a gap between the next set of teams.
Okay. Yeah, I think talent's a bit scary because that's actually why I had them beating Game of Gladiators, because I think their tiebreaker match that they had to play in the groups, I felt like they were heating up a little bit, you know? Like I could feel like they were becoming a better team as the groups went on, because didn't they start off like 0-4 or something?
Yeah, they started off 0-4. The first day they lost all their matches, and it was looking not super hot. They lost 2 games to Tundra, and they lost 2 games to TSM. But just to show how wonky Group D was, their strength of schedule was weird, because the next day they played Keydstars and 2-0'd them, and they played Quest and 2-0'd them, and Quest was looking a little fraudulent, and Keydstars is looking like a fine team, but not like, you know, of the caliber of a team that is potentially going to win TI. So I think, you know, Talon just had their games stacked to hard and then easy.
Yeah, probably. So that was going back to while I have it on my mind, I wanted to give a couple of shout outs, because I feel like it has been pretty negative. There are some things in Dota that I actually think were pretty well improved. We talked about the fantasy draft. I think they did. I think they
changed it.
They changed it, and I'm not super certain this is the final iteration that you want to end up on, but I do like it. And I do think this format change was, like, again, personally, maybe I don't like it, but I think it was probably better for viewership.
One stream, because after you have 2 days of chaos and then 2 more days of just one stream, so you can really have a focused look at the Dota, and that is a better viewing experience. I don't know if it's the exact best thing for the players, but
yeah, well, you know, fuck the players, so
yeah, fuck them. Dude, the fantasy thing I want to like.
Wait. On the topic of fuck the players, did you see the post game interviews that Slacks did, where he has to go into the team room to like, congrats guys, you won,
and then everybody goes, yeah, cool, thanks.
Yeah. I don't want to talk to you. Which Zai like did it, but obviously it was tongue in cheek. Zai's just playing it up. He's not actually mad at Slacks, but like legitimately all of the players basically did give that vibe of like, yeah, we did it, get the fuck out. Which I saw some complaints on Reddit about it, and it was just, I saw one comment who was like, who the fuck came up with this terrible idea? And I'm just like, I'm sitting there going like, literally all of sports. Literally all of sports. Every sport does that. What the fuck do you mean? Who interviews the winner immediately after they win? What the fuck do you mean? Like, oh, I'm sorry, players. You're playing for millions of dollars. You just won a game. Like, God, we have to like fucking sell the community on losers interviews every fucking year. But now we can't do winner interviews either. We can't get excitement out of these fucking players. Are you kidding me? No, that's disturbing them too. Holy fuck. This is a fucking entertainment product. Jesus Christ. They just won a fucking game. You can't give us something? You can't just yay.
Dude,
no, it's all, you're disturbing us. Get out of the room. Oh.
We just want to go get food. You know, we're not that excited.
And then the community, like, this is a terrible idea. What do you want?
I think that's just
fucking want.
I think that's just a couple of dumb people.
Yeah.
I think it's just a couple of dumb people.
A couple of dumb people who got upvotes. So there's a couple more dumb people behind them, Joey.
Yeah, that's how that works, though. Some of the interviews were, like, kind of rough. I did not envy Slacks for having to do that.
No, honestly, the players... I went on this rant before, but like you guys don't understand how awful players make Slacks' job. He has such a hard job, and the players make it hard. Watch other interviewers try and do Dota interviews. It just doesn't work. Nobody else can do it, because Slacks is the only guy who has simultaneously the charisma, the camera presence. He can play awkward super well for entertainment, right? He just he just is a total degenerate and just is able to be the most disgusting, awkward person for entertainment and play that up, which is a fantastic trait. He's the only person who's willing to debase himself, not just on camera, but off camera, to grovel, plead, beg, fucking bribe these players to do 30 seconds of content with him. Fucking terrible.
I remember last year at Arlington when PGL hired James Banks to do work with the players at Arlington.
Yeah.
And just listening to the stories of him being like, holy shit, these people are making my job so hard.
Yeah, have these people never talked to other human beings before? No, they haven't. They talked to other Dota players.
Who are barely human. Which is why it works for Slacks, barely human.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know, man. What was I going to say?
I don't know. I think my rant sent you off. We've got the prize pool breakdown. We've got that.
Is that even official? Who?
That's true. Is it official? Or did Liquipedia just be like, fuck it, we're just going to copy last year's, I guess, because Valve isn't, Valve hasn't put out anything?
There was no information about tiebreakers until they needed to get played.
Man, Valve's really stepping up the whole, there is a general Valve policy of, give as little information as possible, because if we give you information, you can, nitpick it, break it down, and complain about it, or, use it to your advantage, So we just won't give that to you so you don't have anything to complain about or nitpick or take advantage of. They're really taking that to the next level. Because there are definitely rules out there, right? Those rules are just entirely in-house. I'm sure the players probably have access to it, but it's they're nothing for public consumption here.
Yeah, because a lot of people were confused because there was no tiebreakers in the group stage to determine a difference between second or third place seeding. There was no head-to-head tiebreakers. It was it was head-to-head, and then it was versus lower opponents, and then it was coin flip, which was how to decide things that were not between fourth and fifth place for elimination. So that's how you ended up with Entity getting second over Pandas, and they both had 4-4 records, or Gaiman and Nouns, or TSM and Talon. None of them actually played any tiebreakers. The only tiebreaker that we had to play was the EG SMG tiebreaker.
So I'm looking at the percent breakdown, and it is different.
Okay.
They took 1% away from second place and gave it to the 17th through 20th. What I think I have picked up here. Oh wait, no. They gave 0.5% to 17 through 20, and then they gave the other half. They took 0.5% from fourth place as well. So some of the and 1% from third. Never mind. All right, so
they took 2%.
First place still gets the whole 45%, but then second, third, and fourth all get a little less.
Well, I'm sure Quest,
and fifth and sixth.
I'm sure Quest and Beast Coast and soon to be Tundra will appreciate that.
Yeah, congratulations. You guys get 1% of the prize pool as opposed to 0.25%, which 0.25% is still more. That last year was $47,000, and this year it's $30,000. So
because the prize pool is almost 4 times as big, right? Okay, I can do that math.
Math works. Yeah.
I can do that math in my head pretty quick, pretty quick. Yeah. I don't know, man. Fantasy. I don't like that. I don't know who were the best performing players.
Oh, right, because maybe it's you have your various weird percent things.
Yeah. It all comes down to your banners and your titles. to actually be scoring points, right? So I don't know. Like, would it have been better to play Yataro or Mickey? Like, that's a thing that I cannot suss out. Also, because they're only scoring one day from like each stage, that means that you have the benefit of not having to pick people who are playing like multiple games or whatever. But also, everybody's best day was just the first day, basically, and the next 3 days of groups, nobody was scoring anything because they were playing less games.
Weird. Okay.
So I think that there are some flaws, but I like the direction it's moving in.
Yeah, is there so the banner system has to be broken, right? Like as in exploited in some way, right? Because I not to be like, I don't like this because I'm bad at it, but I have 36,000 points. The top person has 122,000 points. Now, I mean, yeah, maybe I did pick the wrong players or something, but I did absolutely nothing with my banners and stuff. And I see on my friends list, which you are on there, the top people on my friends list are in the 60 to 70,000 range.
Which is me, baby. Yeah, it feels like the people...
those are people who tried hard at it, and I think traditionally you've done pretty well, right?
Yeah. Normally I do pretty well.
And you've got half the points.
I think it's broken.
The number one person.
I actually think it's broken, and some people got 2 days of scores counted, maybe because it jumped up after the second day of groups for them, but hasn't changed since. So I don't know what's supposed to happen. There's like, also there's just not enough information, which is infuriating for somebody who like wants to care and like get into the little bit of minutia, because there's stuff for like, you know, bonuses for people who have like 4 active items. Well, what the fuck counts as an active item? Does it have to be...
Yeah.
Can it be in their backpack? Does their neutral item count? Do wards count as active items or dust? Like, does a fucking iron branch count? I don't know.
There's an ironwood branch, Lincolns, treads. There are like a lot of items that have a button to them, but like, are they all activatable items? And yeah, neutral items is a good point. Yeah, I looked at that and I was playing with the reroll. Oh yeah, I did actually take that. Clutch Yatoro of the Octopus. I made Yatoro an octopus, and yeah, I get more if he has 4 or more activatable items.
Yeah.
And I did that by looking through his DOTA buff and being like, okay, on average, how many? And it's usually 4 or 5 people. And if you include neutral items, it's definitely 4 or more. And if you include backpack, that it's 100% 4 or more, because then people have like refreshers in their backpack or a cheese in their backpack at the end of the game. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
So there's just not enough information about it, and I think it's a little bit broken, which is frustrating. And I don't know what the best thing I could have played was, but seems kind of fun. I don't know. It's also...
Yatoro was my best. Yeah. Yatoro got me 16,000 points. Without me changing any of the numbers, which I think I have creep score, first blood, and deaths, which traditionally for Yatoro and carries, creep score and deaths has to be a good metric.
Yeah, they're pretty okay. So at the top of my head, I think I also played Yatoro and I got 23,000 points from him. So that means that there was probably about 6-ish thousand points of variance between the banners that we had. But 6,000 points of variance should no way make up for the 60,000 points that you're seeing on the leaderboard for somebody who was in first place, right? Like, so I that just makes me think even more that something is broken. I don't know.
Yeah. So my thing is his original thing, her suit. I don't know, even heard of that word. So he had to play a bearded or fuzzy hero, which I kind of doubt he did. And then the patient, 20% if first blood does not happen until after 10 minutes. That's never happening. It's not happening in a Dota game in the last 10 years. So, those are terrible attributes to have. I didn't even look at that.
I don't know. We'll see if that gets adjusted. They did adjust the Dota TV thing to give people points because Dota TV wasn't working at the start of the TI, which I think was the only real hiccup. that happened so far at the event. I think that I should stop for a second and give an ounce of praise and not gloss over the fact that this year's group stage was presented so much better than last year's group stage.
Yeah,
and I don't know why that happened or what changed, but just getting a panel in Seattle, getting Slacks there, like having the casters be remote with the green screen was fine because they weren't like floating in some little microscopic window thing that PGL was doing. Like it was, I was fine with the group stage casters remote, but the whole production was better. The set looked nice. I like the little terrarium, like Snare and Nat did a good job. Like it was just substantially better than last year. And I feel like no one's giving them any credit for like about facing on that. Because I don't know if you even should praise. I don't know if you should praise somebody for like going back to what should be normal, but it felt normal. It felt TI-ish, road to TI-ish. Really funny, by the way, to listen to everybody try and correct themselves all weekend long.
Oh, do you think they got a note from production? Everybody, this is the road to TI. Do not call this TI.
Yes, I do think that, but also I heard no fewer than a dozen times people being like, TI, I mean road to TI.
Yeah, if you ever notice a trend of casters correcting themselves on a specific way to say something, that it's probably because they got a production note of like, you need to say it this way. Right. If it like, I remember the LGD and they got the PSG LGD, right? there was one tournament where it was like, I remember the LGD guy talked to the tournament organizer. The tournament organizer production had a note for us, and they were like, "Be sure to say PSG when you see LGD." And then, like throughout that tournament, you could just hear all these casters, LGD, PSG, LGD.
And now it's the other way because people are saying PSG, then they go, I mean LGD.
Yeah. Because now it's PSG Quest.
Yeah, I don't know if that investment really paid off, but here we are.
Yeah, it's okay. Now they've got investment all within the same region.
It's true. Well, PSG does. Do you know why LGD has hot dog written on their chest?
Probably some sort of Chinese site.
I'm going to have to look that up because a quick Google search does not do me any favors. But their in-game tags are hot dog.
I can't imagine it would.
And they also, like, right on their chest, it's LGD hot dog. And it's not like a logo. It's just this written out text that says hot dog. And that's not like a joke. I assume it's something.
Yeah, it's got to be some sort of sponsor. Just what the hell it is. It's a mystery because you can't Google Chinese hot dog website. Or company or sponsor. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, your Google Foo has to be better than that.
Yeah.
So 4 teams are out of TI. I think the one that's surprising is PSG Quest. I think SMG isn't super surprising. I guess Beast Coast getting eliminated is a little bit surprising. South America went from a real boom last year to what looks like a real bust this year, and I don't know if the DPC leaving is going to be doing them any favors.
Yeah, I guess it just wasn't that surprising when you give a region that's not Western Europe that many slots. You know, I think it was pretty clear they gave South America one too many slots. But the funny thing about that, right, was Keed. Oh no. Keed was first.
I think they were second.
Then Thunder Awaken was second. So if they cut away one of those spots, then it would look a lot better. But
yeah, you're right. Thunder was second.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not surprising. I feel like you expected. I mean, I'm not sure. Like, people obviously would have expected Keed Stars and Thunder Awaken be the 2 South American teams to get eliminated. But personally, I'm happy. I don't know if I'm surprised or not, because I like the Brazilian guys quite a bit, and it's good to see South American Dota not be entirely Peruvian run. I think it's more fun when there's a Peru versus Brazil rivalry that goes on, and it ebbs and flows. Right, there was a time where like Brazil was definitely the way more dominant, and then like it was only Peruvian teams that were like getting all the qualifiers and stuff like that. And now we've got a nice mix. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not putting much stock in EG or Keystars to make it past that first round, though.
No. I mean, maybe you would have more faith in EG if they didn't face up against Game of Gladiators right away. But my faith, like, I put them top 3 or top 4 in my list for Berlin. I had a lot of faith in EG. I thought they were, like, really on the come up. And then, like, that just kind of did a 180 for me. I kind of feel like they're just, I don't know, they're not a team that I look at anymore and I'm like, oh, maybe these guys could win a TI someday, or maybe they get like top 3, top 4 or something. I no longer feel that way.
What changed? Is it just like, is Pekaz less explosive? Is the roster just not living up to expectations? Is it a
Pekaz definitely doesn't stand out in his performances as much as he used to. I think there's like some player team culture stuff there that like doesn't vibe with me. Like their LAN prep and what they do on LAN is like not the way that I would want my team to like, I would want my team, grinding it out and stuff like that. And I don't think EG really does that. I think EG plays it pretty loose for most tournaments that I've ever seen them at. So I don't know. It's just like, I feel like they kind of hit their peak and I'm not sure if they're as hungry as just so many other teams, basically. I don't think they wanted it as much as the others. That's just my personal outsider view of it.
It's a good take. What's your opinion on Team Spirit not losing a game yet?
Not surprising me. I think I've had a couple conversations with some analysts about TI and the meta and stuff like that, and I think one thing that stands out for me, and you might not want to hear this, Joey, but I was talking to Hoppid about carries, and it started a conversation in my head. He asked me, who do I think the best carries are? And I thought about it, and I realized that I did not think. Now, it is there are two different carry styles. Let's, if we want to make things really simple. Two different carry styles. So hard carries and like playmaking, space creating carries, right? I think that for most of this season, the success of the Western European teams has been through playmaking, space creating carries and not through hard carries. And I think that this patch and this meta is much more built around hard carries than it is that other style.
Particularly strength hero hard carries.
Yeah. So I think that Team Liquid, Gaming Gladiators, maybe some Tundra, but more so the point that I think that this Yatoro is much more of a hard carry player. And I think that hard carries are much more set up. Like you need a really solid, like super clutch playmaking carry, I think, to carry you deep through this TI. And I think Yatoro is the best carry in the world, possibly the best player in the world right now. So I'm not surprised whatsoever. I had Team Spirit very, very high up on my list. I predicted them to actually win this event, so I'm not super surprised they haven't dropped a single game yet. And I thought about it. I was like, I think most of the really strong hard carry players are actually not on the best teams outside of Team Spirit, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Like Hector, who or am I having a recency bias for his crazy carry games against Tundra?
K1 Hector is he's one of those guys for sure. To put a team in there that contradicts my point, I thought TA 2000. I thought this guy is like one of the best up and coming carry players right now. Maybe there's still some improvements in his game, but obviously, PSG Quest is already out, so that's a bit unfortunate. Another name that came to mind was, I'm looking actually through the list right now. I actually think if Betboom, I don't know, they always choke on land, but I think Nightfall is a really good carry player, right? I think he's one of the best. I think 23 Savage is a really good hard carry player, one of the best, right? His Morphling is insane. I think Tundra Skeeter is a better hard carry than some of the other Western European teams, but he is also in the lower bracket. So, kind of hard to follow through on the data on that. But we'll see. We'll see how the tournament continues to play out and if that holds true or not.
Can we talk about heroes for a little bit? Mostly because I have questions for you, who just knows way more about this stuff than I do. I don't understand what happened to Earth Spirit to make him very viable in multiple roles, and is it just magnetized doing a lot of damage?
Dude, I knew this hero. I knew his hero was broken, man. This hero was a menace. And every single fucking party queue game that I played like 3 or 4 months ago, this hero, God, he sucks so much donkey dicks to play up against. It is awful. Okay, so all of these strength heroes just get far too much HP, right? That is a general trend that has been happening, right? We talked about it several weeks ago. I was saying, like, these heroes are getting like 5,000 plus HP so easily, right? So people are definitely taking advantage of that. Earth Spirit is one of those heroes, right? He's got one of the highest strength gains in the game. So that's really nice. You just can't kill him. On top of that, a hero that has tons of HP is then able to go, not magic immune, not physical immune, literally invulnerable half the time he's in a fight. Like, at some point in time, you've got a 4-second cooldown on Rolling Boulder. You get an Octarine, right? You knock down to 3 seconds, right? Like, you're just constantly rolling. You're invulnerable for half of the time.
Your mobility is crazy.
Your mobility is crazy. Your effective HP is off the fucking charts. It's not okay.
So that's why he's good? Because he's hard to kill? Literally? That's it?
I mean, I think so. And then you just add... So you take super hard to kill with super good mobility and catch, right? And then you drop Magnetize on it, right? Magnetize, like, if you give it enough time, right? Magnetize could do, like... I don't know. The damage on Magnetize is 40, 80, 120. You give it enough time, it could be doing 25 damage a second, right? And you will kill people given enough time. So, yeah, Magnetize does good amount of damage. But, like, ultimately, I feel like it's not the damage over time that is the problem. It's his survivability and catch that is the problem. Because if he stays alive for 20 seconds at a team fight, well, he's just constantly re-upping Magnetize on you, and you've taken 2,400 damage by the end of the fight from Magnetize because you can't kill this guy,
which is spread across
away from him
a whole team too, because it's not just one person who's generally Magnetized; it's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, and they did other things previously in previous patches, right? They gave him a lot more Stone Remnants, right? Well, that also plays into it, right? He doesn't run out of stone remnants very easily. He's got 13 max charges on the max level, right? So 20-second team fight, yeah, he's able to drop stones for the entire 20 seconds. So, yeah.
Okay, so that hero's good and is flexible. And another hero that is good and flexible is, like, Morta has 31 picks. It's the second highest next to Venge and a 58% win rate. And we've seen that played mostly pause 1, pause 4.
So that one, I think it's one of the few heroes. I think you'll see more percentage-based damage. Like, we've seen more Necrophos, Ancient Apparition. We're going to see more of this percentage-based damage creeping up as these Earth Spirits, Earth Shakers, Bristleback type heroes, right? like, oh, these super tanky boys, if that's the meta, then you have to bring percentage-based damage or damage that can cut through their tankiness. And I think Muerta as a carry is one of the few heroes, right? Because she's able to do magic damage. It's hard to get, it's easy to get armor, right? You can stack up armor to like, to points where you have like 75% physical reduction. It's hard to stack magic resistance to be up that high. So this means that this hero can cut through tanky heroes very, very quickly. Like, she just shreds them. And I also think the calling has been, like, I think this ability is clearly her best ability as a team fighting support sort of deal. And I think that continues to be shown. We saw it today. Jian Ming missed about 80% of the dead shots that he threw in his game today. LGD didn't need him to hit those dead shots. He was just contributing with the calling.
Which is crazy that's all that, like, one spell basically is making the hero at this point to be a support character.
Dude, this guy could not hit a dead shot to save his life. I was cracking up so much. He was a bronze tier Muerta. So, like, I don't know if he's got a smurf or whatever, but like it felt pretty clear to me that like he had this play where somebody was TPing out in front of him, and he so clearly panicked where he shot the dead shot to a tree that was like very far away and then had it come back when there's a tree right next to the person who's teleporting, right? And you could very easily just like boom, boom, it would instantly stop him. But he went for the long shot at the tree because he was obviously panicking. And by the time it came back, the player, the TP completed and he got away. It was like a freest core kill in your life. This guy clearly was not experienced enough on Huerta or was having huge jitters playing at TI, which is possible. But he just like totally fumbled. Good thing they won that game, man, because otherwise I would have been looking at him and been like, I don't know, dog. You might have cost them this game.
Spirit Breaker looks kind of broken.
That's another tanky boy. Yeah.
From a casual perspective, from a casual, not deep Dota understanding perspective, Hero's just too fast. It's everywhere, and it can kill an entire creep wave, and you can play it. We've seen it position 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, which might be the hero that's been played in the most different roles so far in this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a hero like Witch Doctor, like Earth Spirit, that I felt like was very strong like 2-3 months ago, and really nothing has changed about this hero. And the time has come for him to get picked up. I don't know if this is, I haven't thought about it that much, if like maybe some of it is just the change in some of these other heroes that got nerfed, got taken away, so now this hero is made better because he was previously countered by something else. But this hero really didn't change that much. They gave him an extra 5% on Greater Bash on the movement speed damage, which obviously affects all of his abilities. So an extra 5% is a good amount. Maybe that makes a difference at a certain specific level when it comes to clearing a creep wave. But I feel like this hero, I feel like this hero was 95%, like still kind of low key broken before, and now it's just his time again. So
the thing that looks the most high key broken to me right now is none of those heroes, because I think it's Bristleback.
Yeah. I was in the back of my head. I was like, be sure to talk about Bristleback because that hero is bonkers. Now that hero is a very clear reason why he is broken. It's because we have discovered a broken build on him, which just is
buy a shard and then call it a
no.
Buy a scepter and call it a day. Buy a scepter, call it a day. What?
No, it's not that either. You don't know about this, Joey? Have you not noticed the skill builds on these Bristlebacks?
They're going 1 point in Bristleback. 1
point in Bristleback. That's correct. So it means that you have less damage reduction, but that damage reduction also it affects your damage threshold for quills being activated from your Bristleback. So yes, you're taking more damage, but you're spilling out more quills, right? And if you have some sort of lifesteal mechanic like Bloodstone, which everybody is buying on many of these heroes and all bristlebacks, it means that it is effectively kind of the same HP. If you activate, like some of these things, that it's actually more effective HP, but most of the time it's like close enough to the same effective HP from the damage you're outputting is so much greater, and you're getting this heal back. Now, if you throw in like something like Ancient Apparition, right, something that stops heal, Doom, another good example, and I think we'll see more Doom as a result. Like, if you take away that heal, that spell lifesteal effect, then yeah, this hero is significantly squishier. But if he has spell lifesteal, then he is actually like kind of the same hero, just outputting shit tons more damage.
And you get an Ags, and you spray your quills a bunch of times immediately.
Yeah.
And then I've been watching. I think maybe it was Collapse who I saw do it first, where they were just dragging every creep wave to neutrals, and then quill spraying the creep wave and the neutrals nonstop, and farming every wave, and getting. I think he had something like a 16-minute scepter.
Yeah.
And then he can like solo kill a tormentor.
Yeah.
And it just seems like a crazy situation, like not a kind of broken, like a broken situation. So I don't know.
Yeah.
How much are people going to keep on letting others play around with Bristleback? Is there going to be like some, well, if we get Break and if we get Doom or if we get AA? Because something that we're seeing is that there is more Doom and like Pause for Doom, and also just more AA in general, because how are we dealing with all of these super tanky boys, not just Bristleback, but like the entire lineup anywhere, right? So
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I have 3 first phase bans at this point, I don't know if I want people to be playing Bristleback at all.
Yeah, that hero is definitely one of the more dangerous ones, because I think we talked about I thought that heroes that could solo Tormentor, I think that is, you're not going to pick a hero for that reason, but it is a super sweet cherry on top of a toolkit that you're looking for. Bristleback does that. I thought Templar Assassin was going to be popular for a couple reasons, that being one of them. Yeah, there are other tanky boys that are running Dota right now. Chaos Knight, Joey.
I have opinions about the hero. That's the only one that I know how to talk about.
Okay.
I mean,
Chaos Knight is owning right now, and he's super popular. Like he might get him to that ban territory, but he has made that meta shift where it's like people have realized he's good, but not good enough to a point where it was getting banned a bunch. So he's been picked one of the most times for his incredibly high win rate.
Yeah. I think I've been saying it casually, similar to some of the other heroes, that he's just been getting buffed for a long time. And a lot of the reason that I felt that Chaos Knight was not good in most situations is just because like there was prevalent counters that are popular in the meta. But if the meta is go fast, Chaos Knight's good at that, and also be tanky, Chaos Knight's good at that. And then suddenly you also get like this Phantasm cooldown where you are just scouting all the time or farming all the time with Phantasm. Because you're seeing like, if you're playing the hero and you're saving the spell for a fight, you're probably almost certainly doing it wrong. You're just kind of using it off cooldown at this point to do something with your illusions. Hero feels really good because he can also solo any support. And there's not a lot of saves. And something that is like not happening at all right now with any of these heroes I'm seeing picked is that there's no mana burn. And if you want to make Chaos Knight sad, you want to burn his mana.
Yeah.
There's no PL. The AM is like obviously not adu carries really don't seem to be a hero at all, right?
Well, one of them in this tanky meta, there's one agility hero who stands out, Joey, who's doing all right.
Luna?
You know what hero that is?
Is it Luna?
No, it's Spectre. Another tanky hero. She's legitimately like one of the only agility heroes that's like really succeeding right now. She is also, that's another one of those heroes that I was like, every single time I played carry in like party queue games and stuff, I would pick Spectre because I was like, this hero is so interesting. It's like not quite as brain dead as used to be with the old Han, but like it is so like I cannot believe they buffed this ability before TI. They went from 80-second cooldown level 1 to 60-second cooldown on this Shadow Step. It's up every minute. This carry gets to be a part of a kill every minute.
Yeah, which is a lot of
crazy.
kills. It's a lot of kills.
Yeah.
If I was giving advice to anybody who wants to deal with the Chaos Knight in their pub, you should play Jakiro, which doesn't seem to really be a hero yet. But can you tell me why Dazzle's been the most banned hero, and I've barely seen it in any games?
This hero's just got a kind of broken concept to him, and if you add it into the tanky meta part, then things start getting really bonkers, right? You have these like tanky heroes that go in, and then you have this like super farm Dazzle because maybe he goes to Midas build, maybe he's just able to farm really quickly because he's just constantly throwing out spells, he's constantly healing you, he's upping your armor, he's giving you the Shallow Grave, and then the Shallow Grave is amping up heals that you're getting. I don't know. The hero is like, I think it's fundamentally broken. You just have to get to a point where you know how to play him and your team knows how to play around him. That for me is like that. And again, that was another hero that like I think was clearly that had some broken concepts to him. Mm-hmm. It was just a question of who was going to get there and figure that out fastest. So,
well, I don't know how the hero works, so
he take away health to spam spells, and he is always spamming those spells. He is always spamming those spells, Joey.
Copy.
And the one thing is he can use his ultimate to reduce his Midas cooldown. Even the charges. If he has a charge up, he'll also increase lower the cooldown on the second charge as well.
Huh.
So
I guess I need to go learn what changes happened to Dazzle.
Yeah, the hero is really interesting right now, but because they've been trying to figure out Dazzle, how to make him viable for a long time, and they figured out it's not around Shallow Grave heals, it's around something else entirely, which is his ultimate, which is probably, I mean, he's one of the heroes that has had a lost identity for the longest time, right? His ultimates have changed so many times.
Yeah.
And
it's almost like Shallow Grave is his identity.
Yeah, it was for the longest time, right? Shallow Grave was the reason, I guess, you kind of picked Dazzle. And now it's finally his ultimate, which has ended up on Bad Juju, which is a good version of Bad Juju, unlike the shitty version of Bad Juju from before.
They should have just renamed it at that point because I think that Bad Juju's still bad.
Not shitty Juju.
Yeah. Kind of decent Juju. I think that's most of the heroes. I think Venge is kind of a trap. I think Sven's kind of a trap.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about Sven. Sven is like this weird combination where he appeals to the tanky hero part of the meta, right? Because he does get tanky. He makes everyone else tanky, right, with Warcry. But then, like, his burst doesn't feel as effective, right? Because one thing Sven likes to do is be able to go in there, bam, 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 and, like, guaranteed core dead, right? And now maybe that's not good enough. And
it's
maybe
like
you're going to get kited around after that.
It's like you can't do enough damage quickly enough to kill a Chaos Knight or a Primal Beast or probably even a Spirit Breaker, because then suddenly you either have Living Armor or Sunray or name another spell.
Also, like a fool, he has to actually put himself in a lane to farm it and push it out, unlike Naga Siren or Wraith King or some of these other heroes that are doing well right now, which, I mean, Wraith King's a great example, right? This hero's really popping off as an offlaner now. Just like run skeletons down the lane. And then on then mid lane, there's a primal beast that like just shows up. The creep wave's gone instantly, and boom, he's away. A bristleback shows up in a third part of the map. Quills the wave, it dies instantly. Or a Naga Siren is throwing illusions down the lane or something, you know. So it's like some of these heroes. There's something about the bigger map and the push mechanisms that are super easy. Wraith King is the one that stands out to be the most. That is pretty value right now. Oh, Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight's the other one, right? Those two heroes have like a really good link. They're both strength heroes, but they work in carry. Chaos Knight is carry. Wraith King seems more offlane right now, and like both those heroes have the same mechanic, which is throw thing down lane, and it actually gets them a lot of farm and makes the map very annoying for the enemy team.
Well, what do you think's going to happen next week? You get to, we're both going to Seattle in like less than 48 hours.
Yeah. I think I'll throw out my predictions now. I'll have Team Spirit beating VP, Liquid beating Talon, LGD beating Pandas, Azure beating Nouns. I thought Shopify was actually doing... I don't know. I had some faith in Shopify, and then I lost faith in Shopify, but then I definitely lost faith in TSM when they lost to Virtus Pro, because I was like, this is your best chance to get into the upper bracket. I felt like they had the easiest time.
You know what really
super lost faith in them.
You know what sucks about that matchup? The winner will probably have to play Downs. So it's just going to be like a real NA death match.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I'll take Shopify then, because TSM choked that game 1 against Virtus Pro. I'm not sure if they're going to recover. I'll take Gaiman over EG, BetBoom over Keat Stars, and Tundra over Entity.
I would actually pick the same people completely. If I were to
way to be a bandwagoner, Joey.
If I were to pick a single spoiler, if Tundra doesn't get their stuff together, I think Entity maybe could beat them.
All right, this guy's a Stormer fan, so of course he's like, oh, Entity could do it.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be shocked if Keat Stars pulled some kind of crazy upset against BetBoom.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they looked real good today, huh, Joey?
Yeah, I think that those are all the teams that are actually going to win. Yeah. I think you're right. I think that we're in for a pretty hype finals weekend. But
yeah, I think it's going to be a good TI. I'm looking forward to it. I think the group stage already showed that Valve put in. Valve is making sure the broadcast is good, and I think it's only going to get better from here. You know, Seattle TI. It's going to be a good TI.
I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped to get on that plane in a couple days.
Not to bring this back to me. Shut up, Joey. But there's talent voice lines as well. Did you like any of them, Joey?
Yeah, I was a big fan of Ares. Ares, big Lachlan fan over here. Where
what's his?
Boys.
Oh, you actually kind of knew it. It's boys. What is up?
And then I'm also a fan of yours, which you can go buy in the store right now. If you go
which
buy
I only have one of. My other ones were too suggestive, Joey.
Too suggestive?
Yes, they maybe crossed the line on the overtly sexual. I didn't think that was overt. I shared it with you, Joey. Were you surprised that I only got one in?
Like a little bit, a little bit, just a hair. I did.
We also did not. Or at least I don't think we knew. Maybe I did not read some of these things, but I'm pretty sure we thought we were only getting one voice line. Then they gave us 2, which is cool. I didn't get a second voice line, but they let me reapply, and maybe I'm still going to be able to get one. But it's hard to complain about not getting a second one the first go around when you didn't even know you were going to get it. It was like a happy bonus.
I bought your gold sticker, so I don't know if I'm going to retroactively get that second line.
I sure hope so. 'Cause my sticker loses a lot of value if that wasn't the case. But I there is definitely a line that I'm going to keep submitting. Because apparently Slacks has submitted the same voice line, which is his $20 one. He has submitted that one, which is the Yoda death sound in some random Star Wars game that he thinks is super funny. And he's been trying to get in that in the game for years. And apparently he just keeps resubmitting it. So I've learned from that. I'm just going to keep resubmitting the line that I want in. And maybe 5 years from now, Valve will let me have it.
And then you'll make all the money. You'll make all the money. Yeah. I still don't know. Yeah, I did. I don't know what to do with the sticker. I think that it was just, I mean, I get to use your voice line now and we play games together, and like that will be funny for me, I guess.
I didn't update the picture or the autograph because I was like, no one gives a fuck about the sticker. No one cares what my picture or autograph looks like. It's the voice line. That's the only thing that matters.
I do think it's funny, and I know you saw it because I tweeted it, but your photo was sized differently this year, and you're just so tiny.
Yeah. It's like literally I resubmitted the exact same. I literally took the email from last year. I was like, give me those files. And just put them in the same email. So it's literally the exact same files. The exact same files I submitted last year.
That's a good time. Oh boy, it's TI season.
Yeah. And we got something coming out tomorrow. Announcement tomorrow.
We got something coming out tomorrow.
When you listen to this podcast, there will have very likely been an announcement on social media. So you're listening to this now and you're like, boy, I sure enjoyed this podcast while driving on the road. Stop in the middle of the road, open up Twitter or Facebook or whatever social media that you use on your phone and go to our social media channels and click the thing that we are putting out there.
Yeah, which we can talk about.
Yeah, what is it, Joey?
So I don't think that we ask y'all for very much at all. We provide a service, which is a somewhat frequent hour of Dota-ish content.
Yeah, we don't ask for anything at all. Just money to our Patreon.
Yes, which you can go to patreon.com/SlidePull4. But if we're not asking for that, the thing that I could ask of you, which again, I never do, and this would be free, is to just engage on Twitter with the Monster Energy announcement for Monster Mornings Season 2, which is coming out around the time this podcast does.
That's right.
Just like give them a thumbs up on Twitter. Be like, shit, that's exciting. Or thanks for giving Joey a charity thing to do. Or like whatever you want to say. It can be mean.
Yeah,
but
no.
Engage.
If you listen to this podcast, specifically give the thumbs up emoji and then say, wow, very cool. That way, when I look back through that announcement, I'll know the people who are listening to this.
Mm-hmm. Wow, very cool.
Wow, very cool.
So there's a fun video coming out tomorrow. We're going to be doing the Monster Morning Show every remaining day of the main event, which is 3 next weekend, then 3 the weekend after that. And it's going to be a party. Again. It's going to be a party again. And I rented an Airbnb.
You maybe are sitting there. You may be sitting here and going like, guys, this really wasn't that surprising of an announcement. It was pretty obvious what was going on. Well, it is surprising that Monster is giving us money to do this again. So, I think that's
They could have said no. Yeah. Okay, look. This is something, and I promise it is not an exaggeration, just for the people who have stayed to listen to the entirety of this podcast, which is now encroaching an hour and 10 minutes, almost 110 minutes. It was one of Monster's favorite activations last year that they did. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how much credit we should take for that, but, like, they genuinely liked it and thought it was good. So it wasn't, we can joke about them giving us money again, but just so you know, they liked it, and they liked it because people from Side Pole who like to listen to us also showed up and said hi. So thank you.
And specifically commented, wow, very cool.
Wow, very cool. So that'll be live on twitch.tv/Monster Energy before the mainstream starts, which is like 8 a.m. Pacific for the remainder of TI, which also means that we'll probably do a live podcast or live in-person podcast sometime in Seattle, since we'll be there for a couple weeks and there'll be another break. And hopefully the next time we talk to you, you've both watched Monster Mornings and Team Liquid beat Talon again.